Do you like this, Brian? Look at this. Look at the album artwork. It's pretty cool.
It's not bad, actually.
How many seconds do you play before you get docked?
Yeah, that's quite enough. Yeah, no, this Thin Lizzy album cover is pretty dope. Check it out. Jailbreak, Thin Lizzy. Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
We're back after the week of nothing. We all had really important things to do last week. I had Zeta Month stuff to work on. Joe had like paramedic class stuff to prep for, and Brian had to take pictures of leaves. So now we're back for for the Demon's Quest Part 2. We brought Joe back because might as well, you know.
Hey, Joe, back.
Finish this quest.
Yeah. Bring
that
Joe
is
back.
Quite the album cover. Holy, what the?
Yeah, I figured it out. Yeah.
It looks kind of Marvel-y in a weird way.
Yeah, I was thinking it was like kind of looks Silver Surfer or something.
Like Silver Surfer meets Apocalypse or
like a MODOK-y kind of thing.
Yeah, there you
It's
go.
the stencil that goes on your thigh before it's tattooed on.
Yeah, sure. That's what they call it, a Thin Lizzy.
Joe, I will pay for you to get that tattooed on your thigh.
I am looking for my next tattoo.
I had a dream.
But it's not going to be Thin Lizzy.
I had a dream last night that I'm pretty sure I know what my next tattoo is. This is the second time I've had a tattoo dream, and I woke up and I'm like, oh, it's not on my body. I need to fix that.
Oh.
And
what are they?
I had a dream of a full leg sleeve of kind of it was all these like weird geometric shapes, which is not really my MO, but like it wasn't consistent, which I can't really describe it.
Sure.
But I was just like geometric shapes, full leg sleeve.
You gotta draw it as soon as you wake up so you don't forget.
I mean, it wasn't consistent in the dream.
Oh.
So it's even harder.
It was one of them new shape-shifting tattoos.
Yeah, you know. But
it's alive!
Last night's was a chickadee, like the bird, wearing a bowler hat, and it had a teacup with like a little tea bag, kind of like the string, and a little paper tag hanging off it. I'm like, well, I guess I need that on my bicep.
That does seem like something you would have, yeah. Why is it not already on you?
I don't know, but I've got a friend that does
Russia.
really good stick and poke tattoos, and I think she's due up here to Big Bus in the next like month or two. And so I think I might write her and try to schedule one of those, because
That's a lot more detailed than having a dream where you look down at your bicep and it's all blurred out like it's nudity on a network channel or something.
is that gonna be?
I know what my next tattoo is. If only I could see it.
Sigmund Freud trying to pull that apart.
It's a cool tattoo. What is it? I wish I knew. It's too blurry.
There's a Black Mirror episode where like it's like it's some sort of app or something where if you get blocked by the person, then they appear to you like blurred out like that in real life.
Oh my God.
And it's the most. And then like he does something like really messed up, like illegal or something, to where his punishment is now everybody in the world looks like that to him. Like it's just muffled and you can't tell what anyone looks like. And it's just this horrifying nightmare.
I can't wait till that happens in the real world.
Yeah, so whenever you're thinking about what your next tattoo you want it to be, Joe, can you put your fucking phone on vibrate?
It is, except the one person that's messaging me.
Okay, I get it. Welcome back to Jump on the Bat-Wagon, everybody.
Where we talk about tattoos and dreams.
We talk about tattoos
Tattoos
and turning your fucking phone off. This is where we watch through the entire... Oh, no, I'm going to change this up. This is where I show my friend Brian the entire DC animated universe for the very first time. Do you think that's a good way to combine the sentences?
I mean, not in this exact episode.
And Joe is also here. is the addition to this episode. To view the shows, human beings experienced them in the far gone days of the 1990s. We recommend you watch today's DCAU. You just got the photo that we sent. We're trying to ground Joe's microphone with screws, screws that are touching each other in the most MacGyvered way possible.
Wow, that's amazing.
And Brian just got the photo that I sent like 5 minutes ago. But anyway, today's episode, The Demon's Quest Part 2. We watched part 1 2 weeks ago.
Part uno.
And now I have to combine 2 episodes later so that we can still make our Mask of the Phantasm end of year episode. But it's okay. We'll make it happen.
Yeah, baby.
James has to do so much work between now and then. What was your prediction last time? Was that Ray Shal Ghul would not throw his daughter in the green juice, and that Robin would savor a juicy steak off the barbecue. So that are you still standing by that? You think that's the
absolutely? Why would I second guess that?
falter? Yeah,
Raisha.
Yeah, I'm going with what the show says. I knew you would say something about that. Gefal Ghoul. Sorry. Yeah, this episode was the 63rd produced episode and the 58th to air. Last time was 59th and 57th, so we're still producing episodes in a completely wrong order and airing them in a very this time airing them in the correct order. So who knows what the hell's going on over there in 1993 Warner Brothers Studios. Originally aired Tuesday, May 4th, 1993. No skip days. 4:30 p.m. Fox. Story: Denny O'Neil and Len Wein. So same guys last
Back
time,
again.
plus the Moon of the Wolf, off balance, blind as a bat guy. Directed by Kevin Altieri, same as last time. This time we got music by Harvey Cohen, who wrote the music for Cat in the Claw Parts 1 through 2, Cat Scratch Fever, and his Silicon Soul. And
Also, second cousin to Leonard Cohen.
yeah, I think you made that joke last time that we had him on here.
Fuck.
An animation by Tokyo Movie Shinsha, same as last time. So mostly same as last time. Shit.
Was this aired at 4:30 p.m. Eastern?
That's a good question. Probably. I don't know.
Okay.
We've never really thought about that.
No, we
4:30 and 4:30 in what time zone?
Probably Eastern.
GMT.
Yeah. Yeah. 4:30 everywhere. No matter where you are. It's Batman time. Yeah. We're gonna watch the episode. Yeah.
4:30 on Guam.
I
Let's
was
do
trying
it.
to make the baby go to sleep before we started, but I couldn't, and so he may just suddenly randomly in the background.
Sweet.
Precisely. And at the moment when sun and moon are in proper alignment to cause the greatest upheaval in Earth's geomagnetic field, I shall send a signal to that satellite beginning a countdown. 5 minutes thereafter, one bomb will be lowered deep into the heart of each pit. The satellite will in turn relay a microwave signal that will detonate all the bombs simultaneously. The multiple explosions will result in a global chain reaction. All the Lazarus pits throughout the world will overflow. The globe will be saturated with their chemical solution. And when the resultant cataclysm has abated, there will come a blessed peace. And this poor, defiled planet shall find itself restored to its former pristine glory.
But that will cost countless lives.
Actually, Detective, we have counted. 2,056,986,000. A most impressive plan, would you not agree?
Yes, I can see it clearly now for the first time. You are completely out of your mind. Infidel dog! This time I shall attend to you personally.
3, 2, 1.
It was meant to be.
Good.
What was the time in reality filming at I think it was at Fort Stevens where
It was at Fort Stevens, yeah.
yeah, where Joe and I clapped like perfectly in sync or something.
If I remember correctly, there's like not even like a difference in the waveform. or something
Yeah,
like that.
it was like exactly the same.
All
like,
those years of training kicked in.
yeah.
Okay, guys, try it again.
Count us off.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, one more time.
What? It was so good you could only hear one.
3, 2, 1.
Oh,
It was close.
Not bad.
It was, Brian, you had a little bit of an inconsistent tempo in the count off, but I think we adjusted.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That was pretty
That was
good.
better.
Thank you. Joe, tell us what happened in the Demon's Quest Part 2.
Okay. Bear with me here.
Yes.
So, for some of us, there was a recap from the last episode.
Yeah, Brian's watching the Blu-ray, and I had to watch it on HBO Max for some reason, and then Brian's like talking about a part that we already saw, and we're like, "Wait, are you watching a recap?" No, there was a recap, and we didn't have one. So, yeah.
So we come back to Raj. Is that what we're going with? Raish?
Whoa.
We're going
You
Raish.
combo,
Raish,
Baby.
okay.
Gif.
Holding his daughter up above his head, and he's about to toss her into the boiling Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
And yeah, we
The Baja Blast.
Yeah, with the Baja Blast. So we know we're close to a Taco Bell, but
The Baja Blast's rejuvenating powers.
There's a rope that comes around the Batman, pulls his arms back, saves her, and he's like, "Oh, this is a formidable thing. Now will you marry my daughter and continue my legacy?" After they find out that the juice is only good if you're unhealthy, but if a healthy person gets thrown in, then it makes you quite unhealthy.
You caught that.
Yeah, I did.
This is a lot more detailed than last time.
He says,
you were done by now last time.
Yeah, I know. He says no.
Yeah.
Batman says no, to be more specific. And he's like, "Well,
Robin says yes.
if you're not with me, then you're against me." And then he's like, "I'm going to destroy this place, and we'll move on to our desert. Oh, there was a word he used for it. It wasn't oasis.
Stronghold.
That was it. Yeah. And so he starts caving in the whole volcano area, but weird. Batman and Robin end up escaping, and they make it to Wayne Enterprises, Nepal, where they start typing into a computer, searching about a word that Robin overheard when he was held captive called Orpheus, where Bruce had just typed in searching and apparently pulled all of this information from his head in the meantime.
Yeah. He's typed the word searching. Bruce, you know you're not on a search engine. You're just
find out
typing on a document.
Orpheus is this satellite that he has hovering over, and that somehow takes him over to the Sahara Desert, right?
I think so.
I think it was the Sahara. Yeah. So they fly again with Robin flying this time. And they're like, "Oh, wait, you can only jump out at altitudes, but it's okay." And then Batman jumps anyway, and he lands in warm sand.
You can only jump out at altitudes.
Comes across this convoy of people on camels, in which I'm going to jump ahead in part that normally gets talked about, but I'm going to mention it now, so maybe you'll help me remember. The camel's teeth are more well animated than the humans. He yanks a dude off the back camel, takes his wardrobe, gets on. Dude in front of him looks back and goes, "Yeah, that's my friend," and they keep riding.
My friend Batman.
Yeah, that's my pal Batman.
He's always there.
They get to where Raish is hiding, and Ubu finds him, catches him, is like, I knew that guy wasn't my friend," and then they fight a little bit. And Raish comes out and is like, "Oh, I should see who this formidable person is more closely." Jumps 3 stories down instead of taking the stairs. Probably breaks his shins. And they're like,
he's
"Oh,
been
it's
in the
Batman.
Mountain Dew.
I respect you, but I don't." Take off his belt and rip off his shirt. And that's the way he'll live for the rest of this episode. And there he explains this whole plan he has about these satellites that link to each other, and he's going to drop bombs in these Mountain Dew bowls all around the world, and it's going to set the world back into 8-bit. And another thing that I realized was
back how it used to be.
Back
the
how
good
it
old
was,
days.
The other thing that I noticed was that he has this computer that's connecting to all these satellites, but it looks like it's built on this old trailer that has wheels made out of stone. So there's that. Batman manages to escape again despite being knocked into a missionary position by Ubu. And
Despite it's like his one
is going to get
weakness.
locked up again, except the daughter comes up and kisses him and puts a fishhook in his mouth.
I guess presumably.
Yeah.
They never addressed that.
Yeah, it happened.
I think my just general Batman knowledge was like
General Batman knowledge?
Batman just always got some sort of escape plan, so he
But he didn't have his belt or his shirt.
Yeah.
Or like how you phrased it earlier, I thought Batman just kept a fish hook in his throat.
Yeah, just at all times in case
Just
he
in case.
needs it. Yeah.
So breaks out. Him and Raish get into a homoerotic sword fight, and eventually Batman throws a sword past Raish's head, and it stabs into the satellite things, which makes the satellite from space collapse and not work anymore with 2 seconds remaining.
No.
He turned up the gravity for the satellite by destroying that satellite trailer with
It's
a
heavier
sword.
now.
Yeah. Raish falls into a vat of Mountain Dew. And Batman leaves.
Well,
and it's
Raish,
like,
releases himself into a vat, right?
Well, yeah, ultimately.
cannot-
Batman walks into the desert to find Robin had landed the plane in the desert, just in the sand, with the daughter. She has a name.
Talia.
Talia, that's it.
They don't say it very many times in this, I don't think.
No,
My
Talia
daughter.
is like, "Oh, now I'm I hold a lot of the standards and ideas that my father did, just the less shitty parts. And she's like, will you love me now? And then he just, and they kiss, and then he just leaves her in the middle of the desert. And he takes a sip from a flask. And the end of the episode is Raish reaching out of the, I don't know how he climbed so high with nothing but bare, like, cement walls, to see his hand really awkwardly, like if you were to put your hand on a platform pretending it's a spider to pull himself out.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the episode.
He's become the Green Goblin.
It's a very Addams Family way of like.
Yeah. That's my 14 times more detailed.
I was just going to say, I think that's our first time like having a comparable length of of description
now
to the
let's find out what really
official
happened.
synopsis. Yeah. I'm going to try to read this real fast. I'm going to put the Hey Arnold theme on and try to say this whole thing in the 1 minute it takes. I don't think I can do it. After freeing Talia from her father's clutches, Batman engages Rachel and Batty, holding him at bay long enough for the maddening effects of the Lazarus Pit to wear off. Whereupon Raish activates a self-destruct mechanism in his mountain lair and beats a hasty retreat with Talia, leaving Batman and Robin to be finished off by a cave-in. The pair escape in time, narrowly avoid being buried alive in the avalanche, while Raish more than enough time to vanish. Only 2 clues to his whereabouts remain. While a prisoner, Robin hears Raish speak, repairing his desert strongholds while hearing the word Orpheus repeated over and over. It turns out Orpheus is the name of the satellite, the synchronous orbit over the specific point of the Sahara Desert, a location that turns out to hide Rachel Go's desert fortress. There, Batman is overcome by attackers thrown into a dungeon and learn the ecologically conscious demons of ultimate made plan. It turns out Lazarus Pit we serve is merely one of many, each of his spring-fed magma layer. Batman is overcome by the attacker, thrown into a dungeon, learning the ecologically conscious demon's ultimate made plan. It turns out the Lazarus Pit we saw was merely one of many, each of which was a kind of a spring fed to some magma-like layer, rolling chemicals deep beneath Earth's crust. Here in the desert, Raish mans the computerized controls that activate the device above the Orpheus satellite. Aboard the Orpheus satellite, the satellite is actually a weapon that will explosively destroy all the Lazarus Pit simultaneously throughout the world. The resulting flood of Lazarus chemicals will wash over Earth like a tidal wave, almost instantly returning Earth to the lush, green, eco-balanced sphere it was in its infancy, but in the process destroying all that life now exists on the planet. The fate of everything and everyone in the lanes and the balance as Batman races to free himself from imprisonment and dispatches Rachel Gould in a duel to the death in time to prevent the Orpheus weapon from doing its cataclysmic work. Move it, football head! Fuck you! It took 2 times.
Wow.
No, that's one of these. It took 2 minutes for me, sorry.
It's 1 per paragraph. I mean, it's not bad.
True. One per half, yeah.
That's too much. That's too much wording.
I think Joe got it down pretty well the first time.
Joe did great.
Yeah. That was like almost more than I like would have wanted Joe to say. Like, and then Batman turned his head to the left and he coughed, and then Rachel Gould clutched his testicles. And
I can dumb it down if I ever get to come back.
it was somewhere in between last time and this time. Yeah,
I think the problem is that now I know kind of what to expect and how this is going to go. So I
instead
looked
of just
at it
like
a little bit differently.
Yeah, instead of like, I don't know, I guess I'll do this. Yeah, Rachel Gould could not resist the temptation of the Mountain Dew. He said, "Batman, just let me dunk. Come on."
The Baja Blast is superior.
Yeah. You can't just get this in the store, detective.
Actually, now you can.
Now you can, yeah.
This was back in 1993.
Yeah,
so
yeah. When was Baja Blast invented?
I'm going to say that's like a 2004-ish thing.
2006.
Do you think?
Yeah, 2006 might be, because I think Code Red was more like
2004, baby.
It's like I was around.
It's like they saw this episode 11 years later and said, "Well, that looks delicious. I want to make that."
It'd be great to find out that Baja Blast was based on this.
Based on the Lazarus Pit.
We're the only people that have made that connection.
Yeah.
You think they would have
know.
called it something different, but I don't know. That's what
Sahara
they went with.
Blast.
Yeah, Sahara, the Desert Stronghold Blast.
Can we talk about the fact that like they keep saying that like the satellite only orbits over the specific spot in the desert, but like it shows it doing the like it's like in a geo
it was going around
orbit.
the planet, but I guess they were just.
If you are not aware of this, Brian, the Earth also rotates.
Yeah, but there's no what's going on. I think it was like, yeah, somehow even though it was going over Africa in its orbit line, and it's like it's going over like an entire continent, and Batman knew this is the spot.
Yeah, that's what I'm confused about. But they keep saying like the graphics they showed, like if it was like is it geostationary?
I don't know.
Where it would like
Geosynchronous? Is that what you're talking about?
Maybe it's geosynchronous. Where like if it was perfectly geosynchronous, it could be technically locked over one part of the planet. So like as the planet rotated, it would stay.
Robin just flew their plane along that same line for 4 days. And they went, oh, there's some camels down there. That must be it. Get out now.
Geosynchronous would make sense. Synchronous being same. Yeah.
Yeah. Any astrologists out there? Astronomer.
Any Dylan Pollocks that can
Astronomer?
answer this question.
I can't think today.
Astro boy.
Which is the real one and which is the fake one?
Astrology is the
Astrologist.
fake one. Yeah.
Astronomer then.
Well, don't. Yeah. Well, I was about to be like, oh, don't insult astrologists, but then we already have like 3 times on this podcast. It's just a running gag. It's a funny, goofy goof.
I'm in the same place as you. I almost like, ask that Neil Patrick Harris guy. I was like, wait a second, that's not the right one.
Neil deGrasse Harris.
Yeah.
That's the one.
He's the guy that makes the chicken. So this episode was better maybe than the first half. I think the music was out of control, like in a good way. Like there was a lot of like really high octane orchestra shit going on at all times. Like I was envious of when they're having their shirtless sword fight, like the music was like something I was like, oh, I wish I could play in this kind of a deal.
Yeah.
I was actually aware of the music in this episode.
Yeah,
How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say as well. Is like normally I'm just like it's in the background, so I'm like, oh, this is the music. Okay, we got it.
Yeah. Versus last time, I think the only music thing we talked about was like, hey, that one part sounded kind of like Aladdin for 2 seconds.
There were some killer xylophone runs in that.
Yeah. Batman fighting Ubu in his like Batman turban.
What an unfortunate final battle they had.
Yeah.
I don't like it when you call me names. Pulls rope, dude knocks himself out, end of battle. 5 seconds maybe?
Yeah. This guy that's built up to be this like ultra strong bodyguard man just dispatched by like slipping on a banana peel. Yeah.
Basically. Yeah.
But whatever. He was, I'll skip a little bit. He was voiced by a different person this episode, Ubu. I don't know why. I looked for why, for like trivia on why he was not the same guy. But he's also like, we'll see him a couple more times, and he's always voiced by a different person.
So it was like the original guy like stuck in traffic, and they're like, "Well, we got to get it done."
Yeah, I don't know. All right, see you tomorrow for part 2. Oh, he died. I have no idea.
Curse of the Ubu. The person is always caught in traffic.
Yeah, the curse of Ubu is the next episode. No.
I'd watch that.
Yeah. I'm trying to pick out like anything. Nothing stuck out animation wise as really cool or bad to me. It was just.
Are we already jumping to Keen effects?
Oh no, I don't know. I'm just saying stuff.
The one interesting that they chose to animate that was there was one Batman cold breath when he was in the cold sand.
Yeah.
I did notice that.
Just one, though.
But just one.
Not everything.
It's interesting when they choose to add detail and when they don't.
Yeah.
So like I mentioned,
the
camel's teeth were like full teeth, where when the man on the camel smiled, it's just like your typical like how a third grader draws teeth. But where it's just like a space with like lines separating.
Yeah.
There's that. There is the explosions and everything were pretty detailed with all of the rockets going off.
Mm-hmm.
That
but
was
at the same time,
chaos.
at the end, when they show that the whole place is on fire, it's a still frame.
Yeah, just an image. Yeah.
However, during the sword fight, I think it's Batman like hits a chair and it leaves like a sword mark cut in the chair, and they spin it around, and the sword mark stays in it.
Yeah.
So it's like, why choose to do detail here, but still frame a burning town?
And was similar with Talia. There's a part where, like, at the very intro, pretty early on in the episode anyway, she, like, goes to, like, kind of cower towards her father and, like, puts her hand on his chest. So, like, she's got kind of a, like, this sort of thing on him, and he's just moving his arm throughout that space constantly, and, like, moving back, but she just stays perfect. So, like, she must be, like, 4 inches from him, and he's just still...
she's just doing a stop.
Yeah. Oh, father, stop.
Yeah.
The solitary breath thing is something that I did also notice. I was thinking, I'm like, why did that's... Well, I've held my breath long enough for it to warm up and be enough to see it.
I guess so. No, it's just really shallow breaths.
I feel like all of these things kind of fall back into Joe's category of, well, maybe not the hand thing that you mentioned, Brian, but Joe's category of like some bricks, not all the bricks. Just some. Where it's like, I understand from like a budget standpoint or like a art style standpoint or whatever why it's like the impression of a thing, like the one cold breath to let you know it's cold outside.
Yeah.
But if they were going to commit to that, why didn't they just do either no cold breaths? Yeah, it's fucking snowing and there's snow everywhere. I think it's cold. Right. Or do all
you
breaths.
have Robin with the insulated tights, whatever comment.
Yeah.
James, do you have any experience in animation like this and like creating it at all?
Slightly, not at this level, no.
I was like, is it more like how much more work is it to have them constantly having breath coming out like that?
that would
I'd
be
say
bullshit.
a significant amount, but also,
can you not copy paste?
Well, you would notice that. You would probably sit there going, why did they even do it if they're just going to do one over and over again or whatever?
we will never be pleased.
Yeah, no. I don't know. I get what you're saying. I feel like, it maybe just don't do it in that situation, but
because this is like also 1993. Is that all still like hand-drawn frames?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything would be. Yeah. Like even
that being said though,
yeah.
Like the camels were copy paste. Like they're all the exact same camel with the exact same animation in the exact same time.
Yeah, I feel like that was one of those like draw a certain amount of the camel walking into the distance, and as soon as it reaches where the one in front of it in the line would be, then it loops again. So like you're just seeing like it becomes the next camel, and then it becomes the next camel. Like, yeah. I mean, I don't ever see that stuff that we're talking about and go like, oh, what the fuck, man. Like, that's so dumb.
Well, if we weren't being like hypersensitive to everything going on, we wouldn't have much to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, the episode like overall looked pretty good. Like you were saying, the exploding like missiles and shit
that part
was insane.
It was
like,
pretty
like,
extensive,
you're like,
really.
no, not the camels, because it's like shooting at this grouping of camels are just sitting there doing nothing. Yeah.
You think they would have run at the first giant explosion?
Yeah, probably. I'm getting out of here. Yeah. But they're just sitting there taking a nap still.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I'll wait till a rocket comes toward
They're
me.
tired, you know.
Yeah. I'm walking along.
Been
We've
long
been walking
week.
an entire continent waiting to be spotted by Robin's airplane.
Oh, my God.
What would they have done had Wayne Enterprises not had a Nepal...
It would have been a longer flight, that's for sure.
They would have had to fly back to Gotham City, spend half the episode showing that they flew back to Gotham City.
That's another thing I just remembered. When they're in the plane and Batman's about to parachute out of it, Robin refers to him as Bruce. Mm-hmm. Is that common for them to do while they're in regalia?
I think it's kind of 50-50. Like sometimes they'll call each other Batman and Robin. It's always weird to me when they do that.
I feel like that's kind of not
around
cool.
Anyone else. Like,
I feel like once you're in the uniform, that's who you are.
Yeah, maybe. I've always felt it was weird if they're calling each other Batman and Robin if no one's around, because like you know I'm my name, right? Like,
I feel like that's a theater thing as well. Is like, of course, when you're on stage and you're saying your lines or whatever, like you're referring to the person in costume. You get off stage and it's just like, "Hello, my friend who's in this costume. I know who you are."
Yeah, or like if you're like acting in a scene or something and you accidentally call them their real name, you're just trying to put it in your brain that like they are the character, so you don't fuck that up.
Yeah,
that makes sense. I guess
it's like method acting, basically.
Yeah, Batman spent a good 3 years training Robin. No, fucking call me Batman. My name's Batman. I didn't be Batman for the last 15 years for you to call me Bruce. Thank you very much,
Bruce Man.
Yeah.
Closer.
You listened to Jump on the Bat-Wagon and kept calling me Bat Bruce all the time. Mr. Wayne? Oh, fuck, the Joker knows who I am now.
Yeah.
Bruce, why are you wearing a mask?
Yeah. Robin, we've talked about this.
I don't know. I guess that just happens. I feel like I hear Robin refer to Batman as Bruce
more often than
him. I feel like Batman hardly ever like talks to him. Or Bruce.
Yeah, but Robin really had nothing to do both of these episodes. He got kidnapped and then freed, and then he flew a plane.
Great.
To a different detail, the utility belt being ripped off.
Yeah,
I find it's a superhero, right?
Uh-huh.
Who wears a utility belt? Like,
he's got to have all his stuff.
I feel like he is rich enough and is sponsored by like Under Armour or Nike enough to have a lot of built-in pockets. I don't know. Because now when I think of that as like, oh, he ripped off the utility belt, but his bat thong isn't falling off. Like,
Yeah.
it's just a construction worker now. He's just got like hammers and tape measures and stuff,
Yeah,
and like a pocket for nails. And
We've talked about how, like, especially in this show, the utility belt is not shown to like have like actual physical pockets. It's just got these weird little ovals on it, and yet somehow Batman's always just pulling everything he needs out of thin air, like
or like out of his throat.
Yeah.
The ultimate pocket.
He did what? Yeah, I don't know. It's never really bothered me, but nowadays it's probably just like a classic, like, oh, Batman was like this in the 40s and this is what it is. But yeah, nowadays I guess he probably would have a bunch of cargo pants or something.
Yeah, it's tough not to look at it from a, I guess, in a way, logical standpoint.
Yeah.
I mean, utility belts can be very helpful in certain circumstances, and I guess fending off evil is one of those circumstances.
Yeah.
But
And so is being on Tool Time with Tim the Toolman Taylor.
yeah,
I guess that's a good point.
Al
Like,
Borland.
could you West Borland? Could you possibly get Batman some pockets to the point where like they could like frisk him and remove everything from his pockets, but
It would just be an extra length to the scene of them, and remove his cargo shorts, and remove his utility vest.
It's not even high tech to give him pockets. Any seamstress with a little bit of extra fabric can make one. That's the
true.
thing.
Is this episode called "Where Are Batman's Pockets"?
Batman. Oh, I'm gonna have to use a Kimmyism here. Maybe Batman's got a cheek pouch.
It's like a squirrel.
Yeah.
That's where he kept that hook the whole time. Yeah.
Good thing they forgot to check this spot. He's somewhere in between Dizzy Gillespie and a squirrel.
Yeah.
Batman in a secret cheek pouch.
They take off his shirt and he's just got a pouch like a kangaroo on
Oh
his
no.
Well, he gave a weird look when Raish took off his shirt where he's like, I expected it to cut back and he just has like some big scar or some horrible thing. It's just a man with his shirt off. Like, oh no. Well, I guess we already saw him with his shirt off. Why did he already have
Male nipples.
And he's doing this again? Yeah. We already did this.
I'll give you the respect of also fighting sans utility belt.
Yeah, utility shirt.
Let just the two of us cross swords with our no shirts on and our tights.
It reminds me of when I first got my first like professional video camera in high school. We went to a little kids park where there's nobody there, and we were just filming each other doing like various like, oh, I'm gonna do like a Kamehameha and James will edit it in and just stuff like that. And we did one thing where Will just we walked around. We had these like walking sticks and we were pretending were lightsabers. And Will was just being like a kind of a zombie coming after us or something at one part. And someone just went up with the walking stick and just lightly nicked his nipple with it. And then we pretended that he was just walking around with blood like gushing out of his nipples from the lightsaber wound, even though it would have cauterized it, but whatever. And then he like goes up to a tree and lets the nipple blood like shoot into a tree. And we had all these grand plans, and then I accidentally taped over that entire tape with the movie that we were making.
No.
So it was completely lost to time. It only exists in my brain.
Great,
But,
now we have to go make it again.
but that came to mind during the sword fight was like, why are you doing this shirtless, like of all things? And they didn't like utilize that at all. They didn't have like Batman or Raish get like mortally sliced or anything.
No,
They're
just
like
shirtless dudes.
just happened to be shirtless. Yeah. We must show our nipples to the Baja Blast detective.
It's also interesting that the Batman's like top would be ripped off as if that's where he's going to keep most of his things. Most of us have pockets in our pants.
I don't know what. Did they explain why they took Batman's shirt off?
We're really hanging up on this one.
Kind
This
of
is
missed that part.
Joe,
this
I gotta
is the
say,
pronunciation of the name from the last episode.
Yeah.
considering looking around at our garb, Joe, I would almost bet that you have a shirt pocket. James, I would bet that you have a hoodie pocket, and I happen to have
Joe
a
always
zippered
has a
pocket
shirt
on my
pocket.
shirt right here. So
Yeah, but you know how
There's a pocket in here. Yeah.
yeah.
to be fair, I'm wearing jeans today, so I've got more pockets there. Normally, I wear cargo
You
shorts.
do.
Yeah, but just saying. I mean,
has
obviously,
pockets.
shirts are where pockets belong, not pants.
Yeah. Well, I
Do you see
guess
those tights?
my explanation for this is I'm pretty sure in the original comic that this is based on that they have a shirtless sword fight. So I feel like it's just a reference to that.
Jamie,
but
why you
I
gotta
don't-
kill our fun?
I don't know. I don't know what the
Oh, the
explanation.
reason that it's doing
in
this
the-
is because it's canon.
Yeah, in the original comics, they didn't wear shirts. I don't know what the explanation in that episode or in that comic would have been either, though.
I
Because I've
feel like
never
it's a
read
pretty
it.
unimportant detail.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we've definitely
It-
spent like 10 minutes talking about something.
Well,
that
it
didn't
makes
even
you
be discussed at
remember
all.
the sword fight, I guess. it's
Let's
so
see.
hot.
I don't remember what they were doing. I just remember they had their shirts off.
they were kissing. They were making out. I
Oh,
think.
not that kind of sword fight.
The cast. Kevin
Cast.
Conroy as Batman. Now we got George DiCenzo as Ubu. He plays a character named San Baines in Back to the Future. He's Marty's grandpa.
Okay.
He played the characters Bo and Hordak on He-Man and She-Ra in the 80s animated series.
Sick.
He plays Captain America on Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends animated 80s animated series. And Joe, I had to include, he was a character named M. Barry Aldridge in Magnum P.I. Because he's also, both Ubus so far have played bit parts in Magnum P.I.
That's awesome.
Now we're starting to get a connection built. Cool.
Ubu two of 3 or 4, I can't remember.
Now, it'd be interesting if both the Magnum PI characters were also related.
Yeah. Charles Howeron, I think Howerton, I forgot, T, as Captor. I don't know, maybe the redheaded, the mysteriously Irish guy that was there.
Yeah.
He previously played
He's the
pimp.
diversity hire.
He was the pimp in Robin's Reckoning, the flashback that was like, "Hey, lady, where's my money? I'm in an alleyway fighting little kid Robin." He was that guy.
Oh my god.
And then Lauren Lester as Robin, Helen Slater as Talia, David Warner as Geff Al Ghul. That's the cast. There's a very small tribs compared to last episode because we talked about Raish Raz for so long.
Okay.
Again, based on a comic, beginning of the episode where rejuvenated and insane Ra's al Ghul rises back to life from the Lazarus Pit, taken from the ending of Batman Volume 1, number 243, August 1972, The Lazarus Pit. However, this episode is primarily an adaptation of the story from Batman Volume 1, number 244. The next issue, September 1972, The Demon Lives Again. Both stories were written by Denny O'Neil with art by Neil Adams, Dick Giordano. Dick DiGiorno. It's not delivery, it's Dick Giordano. Brian, you said this as it happened. Batman glares at Raish before they duel, and his gray suit appears below his cowl, even though he isn't wearing it. You were like, did Batman get his shirt back? And then the next shot, he did not have his shirt again. It's just that one.
You ever seen
shot.
that movie? Did Batman get his shirt back?
What?
That's oh.
You cut out.
You spazzed.
Say it again. You took his shirt. Shirt? Are we
No,
past
it was
this?
a how Stella got her groove back joke, and it's not funny. Let's just move on.
Okay, cool. When its signal is lost, the satellite stops moving and falls in a spiral, which is not a possible orbit. That's the only other trib. It was like,
Wow,
yeah,
that's small trivs.
I guess it was just a weird, I don't know, what.
Why is that not possible?
I mean, it's like if it was falling
if it
out
had
of
like
orbit, it
propulsion
would,
that started it spiraling,
I feel like if it was falling out of orbit, it would just start descending like around the Earth still, but toward the Earth more as it. I feel like that's a thing, but I don't remember.
It wouldn't.
I'm going to need to go home and watch Apollo 13.
Yeah, so I was just thinking.
It wouldn't just fall down. It would fall across. Like it wouldn't lose its
Yeah.
momentum.
Yeah.
Yeah. But,
Yes. That's what I'm saying.
oh, okay. So I'm just thinking about it differently. I'm like, it can't spiral. Why can't it
It
spiral?
was high up enough.
But
yeah.
it won't fall straight down. That's what it's getting in.
I think so.
That's not how that works.
This episode, Joe hadn't heard that yet. This episode was at least questionably. He says that the satellite's going to send out a microwave signal that will ignite all the bombs simultaneously. would it even set them off all at the same time? Because it would have to have like a delay. Like the signal would have to hit the closer ones and tell them like, okay, you wait 0.34 seconds before the next, like, I guess it's activating them pseudo simultaneously, but they're not going to explode. I don't know.
Does that not kind of check out though? Because I mean,
by the time
I kind of equate that to it's doable in the same sense that we're able to have this Skype conversation and
I guess so.
Be in time.
That one
I
just
think that the
premiered,
difference there though is like the actual like physical limitations of a microwave, and if I'm not mistaken, the width of a microwave, like it's
about 2 feet.
Yeah, it was like 2 or 3 feet. And
It
so
heats up my food.
so you couldn't like
We set this one to popcorn, this one to defrost.
so you'd have to like shoot each individual one. You can have one ray because it would only be enough to hit one bomb at a time.
Yeah,
Even if they were
that's
10
what I'm
feet
saying. It's
apart,
like-
you couldn't hit
Yeah.
2 at once, right?
and it would have to have a span way bigger than anything. Than it's like a planet spanning microwave.
Yeah.
Signal, but also just I don't know. It would hit them at different times. I feel it doesn't matter. None of this
Can't
matters.
But I mean, repeaters and stuff like that, you can bounce a signal off of that and connect what you can't see.
If he had a plan where he had like 8 or however many Lazarus pits there are, like that many satellites,
But they were like around
positioned
the
over-
world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if there were that many satellites like positioned over each one, and then the signal like told all of those to send a signal at the same time or something, I don't know.
But all we have is this
Also,
one geostationary.
This is how I would do it if I was
For
Jeff
the-
Al Ghul.
For the mathematicians that listen to this, something to think about. How many vats of Baja Blast does it take to get the Earth back to 8-bit?
The world may never know.
Ooh, cool animation bits. There was
Yeah.
2 things that I was like, oh, that's neat. When Rouge was talking
Rouge
about
Al Ghul.
Rouge Al Ghul, when he was talking about his plan
this
to
is what'll
destroy the
happen.
world, it was really cool to see it go like almost comic book style.
Yeah.
And at the very end, Talia has this like super moody profile shot of her hair blowing in like the desert in the background, and it just looked kind of like it kind of threw me off for a second. 'Cause it looked so modern, like it looked like something you'd expect to see on a like, chill lo-fi beats to relax to kind of thing, like just that looping again
Yeah.
and again and again. Just
Was
her
that
hair
the
blowing in
sunrise
desert.
kiss, or was that the plane
After that,
taking off?
as they were taking
Yeah.
off, there's like
Yeah.
there's this shot of her. It's like really epic. It's really
Yeah.
nice art, but it's just kind of out of
Yep.
place, I guess.
It was too good. I didn't like it. Get out of here. With the fucking one breath. I don't understand. Joe's trying to think through the episode. I can see the gears grinding.
I mean, I'm just thinking about like how, from the logic standpoint, like things like
I'm still stuck on the bricks.
You walked how far out into the desert to get to this plane? You didn't
Right.
take a camel. You didn't take a
There,
car.
there was
Like-
a
plane didn't
horse or
land
camel or
closer.
something in the background.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I didn't see that. I was too focused on like, I guess they just landed this plane on skis
Also,
in the sand.
Talia walking barefoot in the hot snow.
She was barefoot. I think she was barefoot the whole time. Yeah.
But
I
just
like-
in the sand.
I like Talia walking barefoot in the hot snow as the title.
Well, there was
There was cold sand in the last one. This one's just full of hot snow.
Sometimes I think like, the titles that we come up with are too long. But then we had that one that was, what was it? Michael Jackson from the front, Carmen Sandiego from the back. And I could only fit ... Carmen Sandiego from the back or something like that. I can't remember. I've picked one half of it. Yeah. Trying to think of anything else. I guess we could move on to Keen Effects.
We kind of covered that lately.
Yeah. I liked you pointed out there was a couple shots of Talia where her hair was like a more feathered edge than everything else.
What?
I don't
What
know
and
if that
how?
was. Yeah, I don't know if that was necessarily a good thing, but I was questioning how they did that too, because like I don't know what the physical way to do that is, or whether they did that on purpose. Even I don't know.
I don't know. I really like it, like think of it in like an analog sense.
Yeah.
How do you animate that?
They used those crazy scissors with
Like
the jagged
kindergarten
lines. Yeah.
Oh God, they used the whole blur your tattoo thing we were talking about earlier.
Yeah. Oh no.
But just on the
spray
outside
paint one in
right now.
MS Paint.
Yeah, the spray can.
Oh my God, no! It's like the zoom. It's like when you change your zoom background filter and things get just kind of feathered in a weird
Just a
way. It
little
was that
fuzzy. Yeah, in 1993. Yeah, on their Skype call.
on their Skype call.
The rockets exploding and everything. That explosion
Yeah.
stuff was detailed.
It's top. It's
good. Yeah.
I did like Batman's. Just the animation on Batman in general was really good. Brian, are you frozen? Nope, you're changing your background. There you go. Thank you for giving us an example that the audience can see.
This isn't for the audience.
Can you hear this picture? Can you hear it?
I like that. Brian, you thought it was weird. And you're like, whoa, he just roadrunnered out of nowhere there or whatever.
Yeah, he was speedy.
Batman's doing like a Naruto run through the desert in like 4 frames across the screen. But whenever he does that, I always think it looks cool.
James, you also brought up at one point, like you were like, did they like detail Talia's butt?
Yeah, there was a couple of shots where she was turned around and I was looking. There were little lines. There were like lines going down her back into her butt crack area. I was like, was that necessary? How did that pass standards and practices?
I mean, it's not like they're showing this on Fox Kids or anything. You know what I'm saying?
It's true. This is a 4:30 program.
Don't forget, we had to rip shirts off to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, they might as well even the scales a little bit. Yeah,
Just a bit of butt crack, you know.
yeah.
Tasteful butt crack. Oh no.
I don't want that to be the title.
Me
Tasteful butt
either.
crack.
Thank you.
Yeah, I knew that's why you said that.
What next?
Batman's usefulness in this episode. He saved the world.
Even without a shirt.
Now, in the past, Brian, you said at some point that you could only give Batman a 10 on the usefulness scale if he did something that saved the entire planet. And I think this counts.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
He didn't have any uselessness this episode, really. Like last time, part 1, he was just kind of like hanging out until the end. But then in this one, he was just doing cool shit the whole time.
I guess so. There's some times where he was a little, I don't know. I mean, I guess he wasn't useless. He was just like overpowered or outnumbered or whatever.
Yeah. But it's for tension, and then he figures it out and fucks the guy up or whatever.
Yeah, all I have to do
Are you wearing the 8-bit sunglasses as a reference to the 8-bit Gotham City that we see in the episode?
I don't know what you're talking about, Jamie.
Oh, my bad. Those are just in real life.
Yeah. See?
These are my sunglasses. It's just like Talia with Rachel Ghoul's hand. Yeah. Brian put his hand between his face and the sunglasses for reference.
Thank you, Jamie. Okay, so I guess with that in mind, I'll start us off, and I will give him 10, which might be a first, 10 out of 10 camels walking perfectly in sequence.
Okay. I'll give Batman 10 slowly descending sad Orpheus satellites.
Joe, you
slowly
got to
spiraling.
I'm going to stick to kind of the same theme as Brian, and that's what I was going to do anyway, but I had to look it up. I had to look up how many teeth camels have. And the camel has 22 milk teeth and 32 permanent teeth. So we're just going to call it the 32 permanent teeth. I'm going to give him 30 out of 32 camel's teeth.
That's not how it works.
No, I like it.
Out of 10.
Out of 10.
Yeah, so that's like a 9. We'll give it a 9.
Brilliant.
Good. Is this books or hip hop, this episode?
Who are you asking? All of us?
I don't know. Joe.
Oh, this is hip hop.
Yeah, it felt more hip hop this time. It was books last time, hip hop this time.
I'd give this one more hip hop as well, yeah.
I did like the kind of combination Pizza Hut and Taco Bell. The combination Indiana Jones and James Bond vibes in this episode. Like,
yeah,
there was it was almost, there were a couple times that I thought it was weird that how James Bond it was, like the satellites and bombs and all that stuff, and like the setup for the satellite computer and whatever, just in the middle of a like ancient Egyptian castle or some shit. I don't know what you call this.
The destruction of the volcano in the beginning, where he like pushed the button on the wall, was very like, I just immediately thought like Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
But at the same time, from an animation standpoint, when he pushed that like rock button in, it almost looked like he
Just
was like
touched
pushing
it.
Play-Doh almost. And, like, kind of sunk in at first,
Yeah, it just-
and then the button went in.
Yeah, it just moved by itself after that. We didn't talk about that at all, how he's like, well, I have no more use for you, Batman. I'm going to leave.
And instead of killing
all
him.
of my men are going to hold guns at you, but they're going to walk backward and leave with me, and then we're going to push the button to make rocks come out instead. So
Now
you
I
can-
must destroy this Lazarus pit instead of just throwing you into it.
Although that is a James Bond thing to do, the like, I'm going to leave the room and hope you die
Yeah.
instead of being here when it happens.
Well, I mean, when Dr. Evil put Mustafa
Yeah.
down below, he just
That's
yelled
true.
about how his legs were broken. And
Yeah, when he leaves Will Ferrell in the Lazarus pit, it doesn't work out.
No.
What is this anime lines in speed line? Oh, there were anime speed lines in this episode. Brian's screen
You're
is
welcome.
now like anime speed lines plus a word bubble that says, huh? But it reminded me how when Batman's like, that'll kill countless people or whatever, and then he's like, actually, we counted this many million, this many thousand,
It was-
202.
it was 2
and
billion.
then,
it was 2 billion.
yeah, but then the camera's like orbiting around his head really slow, but the background is shooting past like an anime action scene. Like, I guess it's to help, like, oh my god, no, that's so many people, but it was just really weird to me.
Yeah.
So was that meant to like kill everyone in the world?
I don't think
I mean,
so.
at
That's
least a
not-
quarter of them.
I'm looking up the population in 1993.
I'm going to guess in the 6 billion range.
Yeah, I'd say like high 6.
5.538 billion in
Okay.
1993.
Fuck.
I was going to say, like, if it was like 2 billion at that time, man, we've gotten really out of control.
Yeah, I know. I mean, maybe it's just, I don't know, he's not counting the whole world, because otherwise you just, actually, we counted. It's the everybody. Everybody will die.
Like, it just kills people that live like within like 1,000 feet of sea
He's
level
just
or something.
speeding up global warming. Yeah.
Aw.
That's why they were in Nepal.
Yeah.
They're
It's
safe
nice
there.
and cold, nice and high up.
At the end, when he falls into it,
Yes.
and you see him fall into it,
Fully, yeah.
and you see a hand afterwards, which we're assuming is him,
Mm-hmm.
and not just like, oh, my hand didn't make it in, it still lives and it crawls away or anything.
Laughing.
if it kills people that are healthy, and supposedly he has gone into it and become healthy and fell into it as a healthy person, how does
Yeah.
he survive that?
Comics.
James knows but won't tell us. You have to keep watching.
Honestly, I don't think I don't think they say, but I don't think they tell you. Well, no, I don't think they
It
tell
feels
you
good.
like why he would have survived, but it does potentially have complications, I guess.
Yeah,
also.
Say
I
he
suspect
must
that
have
he's gonna
some sort
go-
of supernatural ability to him. He is not human then.
He's probably going to be really crazy.
I don't know. Who knows?
You know.
Not me.
Of course you know.
Do you put this on the top 10, Brian?
I don't think so.
Even combining it, yeah.
I-
It was good, but it didn't leap out to me like, damn, like the ones we already have.
No, like it was exciting and it did a lot of cool things, but I think this, like it had a lot of possibility, especially the two-parter, to have like a grand story. But I kind of feel like they could have just squished both into one episode.
Yeah, I think so too.
And
I think there was way
still
too
wouldn't have-
much stretching of the first part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Joe, you kind of have to. So, is this above or below last time?
It's below.
Okay.
It's not as good as the first one.
in place 4.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
For now, until it gets bumped again. They didn't have as many awkward pauses while speaking. I think there was only like 2 of them.
The ending with the kiss was the
Yeah.
other like weird part. Yeah, the like.
Right, cut.
So now will you marry me? Mwah. That's the sound I played. You
They
didn't
didn't
really
actually
answer my
kiss.
question.
Batman just kissed Talia and then gave her a little raspberry before he
Yeah,
flew off.
I was gonna say they fly away and then he throws a paper airplane back at her and she opens it up and just says, "No, ha, LOL."
Oh my god. That would just continue the whole Coyote and Roadrunner theme that's going on in this episode.
Yeah, Batman holds up an Acme sign that says no. Well, that's it for this. We're going to go to the Yoppie Mail. Before we go to the mail, I will say we're in Zeta Month now. If you're listening and you haven't watched the Zeta Month videos yet, by this point we have 3 out, or 4 if you include the prologue, cinematic prologue that we did. Go watch Batman and Harley Quinn, Will It Canon if you haven't seen that. It's basically like a movie that ends in a fashion that you will not want to miss. And then we got all of Zeta Month going on. We have a documentary out on the creation of the Zeta Project. We have an interview with one of the voice actors, and then the one we just put out is kind of a cheat. It's Ted talking about a comic about a completely different Zeta from the 80s that nobody remembers or knows about.
That's still cool. That's valid.
Yeah. It's Zeta Month. It counts. And then the next episode next video that's coming out the day after this podcast drops is a sort of documentary again on Diedrich Bader, who is the voice of Zeta and just all this other stuff he's done.
Wait, you told me that when we were filming, right?
Yeah. Joe, you know him as the fucking egg neighbor from Office Space. So,
Peter, check out Channel 9's The Breast Exams.
Yeah, exactly. He does the voice of the nice non-gun using killer robot in the Zeta Project.
He's also someone that you wouldn't want a roundhouse kick from.
Yeah, in either situation. Yeah.
Okay,
I
watched Napoleon Dynamite in the last 6 months. It actually holds up lot better than most movies from that era.
Yeah. I think it got ruined for me a little bit by everyone in middle school quoting it when it came out. And
and also half the population wearing Vote for Pedro shirts.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But overall, I mean, it's still a pretty damn good movie.
Oh my God. I want to vote for Pedro shirt for 2024.
That's the 4th Zeta Month video. There's 4 more still to come after that, but I won't tell you what they are. But they're good, and you should watch them. Go watch them.
You've got an interview with them?
What? No, interview with the other main character on the show. But, yeah.
I was like, that'd pretty.
We tried. I tagged him on Twitter a while back and said like, "Hey, interview," and he's like, "Yeah, talk to my agent," and I did, and I never heard back.
Oof. I'm gonna talk to his agent again.
I know. I should. No,
you should just tag him again and say your agent's not answering.
Hey, yo. Well, I keep tagging him in all the Zeta Month videos, so maybe he'll see them. I have been also sending them to the creator of the Zeta Project because we had him on our 24-hour live stream.
Yeah.
I sent him the first one, and I'm like, okay, they're going to be coming out all month, so just check the channel if you want to watch more of them. I won't bug you anymore. And he wrote back like, "Are you kidding me? Send me everything. I want to see them all." I'm like, okay, cool, I will.
Oh man, that's awesome. You're doing good for the community, Jamie.
Thank you. I know. Here we go. Mail time.
That yacht had one small extra yacht put it over.
We drop
What we drop?
our weekly yachts
Oh yeah, those.
into the comment box. There sure was a lot.
Now Jamie's mad.
Too bad we're wrong.
At least I am.
Just Dylan Pollock.
At least Joe is Dylan Pollock,
Oh yeah.
I'll mention right now, we created a new email address for the podcast because for some reason, only Keen Machine's emails are not coming through. It's probably not true. There's probably 1 or 2 others that are having the same problem and just not reporting it to us. But the podcast at watchtowerdatabase.com email is still active, but if you send something to that, there's kind of like a 50% chance at this point of like it won't get to us. So Brian made batwagonpod@gmail.com. I won't tell you what the password is, obviously, but it's a funny password.
Surprisingly, Bat-Wagon@gmail.com was
already
taken.
Yeah.
Which one of you?
Batwagon Pod.
Who has that?
Which Joe. Joe clearly took batwagon@gmail.com. But yeah, so just in case you are trying to send something and it spits it back at you, just do batwagonpod@gmail.com from now on. Okay. Maybe we also listen to this then. Scarloey 1, Jump on the Mechanic Wagon, episode 8. We'll find out.
Hello, listener, and welcome to Jump on the Mechanic Wagon. I'm your host, Scarloey1. In this episode, I will tell you about Season 1, Episode 8 of Earl, the animated series, The Goblin and the Garage, Part 2. What is it, then? Oh, I meant the Penguin takes the bus. Yeah, I'm disappointed, too. The Penguin and Mr. Wing are standing on the sidewalk. Then Penguin says, "Where is the chauffeur?" Mr. Wing replies, "We can't afford a chauffeur anymore. Paka! We'll have to take the bus. The bus? Buses are for the poor, which includes us. Now, boss." Paka! While on the bus, Penguin sees Earl sitting across from him and says, "Do I know you?" Earl quickly replies, "No, you do not." I hope next episode is part 2 of the Green Goblin episode. Anyway, see you next time. Same pee-pee time, same poo-poo channel.
I like Mr. Wing's like Boston-y accent. I never pictured him having quite that accent. We did get one from Keen Machine on the new email address because I went ahead and told him about it. But there's no voice message attached. It just says, testing, 1, 2, 3. Greetings to the distinguished Jamothy and Broderick, pronounced Brick. Love the new email. Hopefully it will love me back. Thanks for postponing the podcast to give me an extra week to get my voice message in. Even though I still had never had time to properly record one, I appreciate it. Insert reiteration that the Demon's Quest is a great 2-parter here. Keep it keen. We will keep it keen if you want us to.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, I like it, but it just never like speaks to me in a super memorable way. This 2-parter.
I mean, it's memorable.
It's it's memorable in that it's like, oh, Geff Al Ghul's first like big thing he does. But then I don't know. We're just comparing it to all of our other top 10 episodes that we've put on, and they're always like these like huge deals or whatever. Or, like,
it'll stand out to me because it's the first one.
It's the only episodes you've seen, yeah. Okay, we got Mark Aquino finally sending in a voice message as promised the last like 6 weeks. And there's no subject line, so it's a mystery. I don't like it already.
I made a vow, by hook or by crook, that I would send you guys a voicemail message.
Yes.
And so I have just one question.
Yes.
Addressed to both of you, the greatest podcast
Joe.
hosts in the multiverse. Jameson Whiskey and Babushka. Just one question. Are you more of a coffee person or a tea person?
Tea.
These are obvious answers, yeah.
I know this has nothing to do with the actual episode, but at this point, does it really matter? I don't know which episode this is even going to air with, Demon's Quest Part 2, or I don't know. Hope you guys like my comments. Anyway, I better skedaddle. Smoke bomb.
Hearing it in real life is even better.
Oh.
Yeah, Brian's tea, I'm coffee. I like tea too, but Brian is like anti-coffee, so if we had to choose.
I'm obsessed with tea. Coffee just makes me bad.
Joe's answer is also coffee.
It's 100% coffee. Not that I don't like tea, but coffee is like one of my top 2 favorite
I've
drinks.
witnessed Joe drinking coffee twice today. That's probably not all the times that he drinks.
James has seen me drink 3 cups already today.
Yes.
And I drank 2 before I came here.
Yes. Joe has a problem, actually. It's not as bad as it used to be, but it has
gotten better. But it's not that I don't like tea. Coffee, I just like more.
Yeah, that's fair.
There have been a lot of mornings lately where I've actually woken up and drank tea instead of coffee because I'm like, I got to get work done. I don't want to poop immediately. So I think I would like to just wake up a little bit.
What is your favorite kind of tea?
We've had this discussion also where I said that a long time ago, like 20, 30 episodes ago, I said that Earl Grey was basic and people got on my ass about it.
Oh, Earl Grey's my favorite one.
See, but yeah, you're jealous. Yeah. It's the Captain Picard tea. I understand. Like, it's good. It's good. I never said it was bad.
Pumpkin spice lattes.
No. I never said that Earl Grey was bad. Just to clarify,
you just called
once
me a
again,
basic bitch. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This is from Dylan Pollock. We're moving on from this conversation. I'm sending a second message with the question, and it's short. Don't worry about it, Jimbo. Oh, okay. I see. So technically, Dylan, I'm not supposed to play your second message, but this is a week delayed or whatever. So, okay, here we go.
It's time for the Thoughts of the Week from Dylan Pollock on the Demon's Quest Part 2, or 2,056,986,000 episodes left in the DCAU for Brian to watch. So, let's talk about Ra's al Ghul, whatever you want to call him. It takes a very confident man to go for the facial hair that is just 2 patches surrounding your chin. I don't know what that is emphasizing positively.
I have a comment on this.
Also, he does the whole self-destruct of the Lazarus pit, And that button should really be somewhere much more secure because any random henchman could lean against that and it's game over. I don't care how much money you have. You don't want to just waste a good Lazarus bit. Considering Raish wants a green and balanced Earth, I wonder why we never saw Ra's al Ghul team up with Poison Ivy.
Ooh.
Also, there's that henchman who turns around and sees Batman on a camel and was like, you know what? This job is non-union and I don't make enough money to make this out of this. Also, Talia's a stage 5 clinger and the satellite falling is worthy of a that's not how that works because it was in orbit, so it wouldn't just fall.
Yeah. I think that's it. And yeah, that's the end of the first one.
Those are good points. The Poison Ivy thing is a good point.
The Poison Ivy thing has sort of an answer to it. Paul Dini was going to write a team up of them and I think it was just never got time for it, like never had made a spot for it in the episodes. So it was on their minds.
Speaking of things on minds, and with Dylan's comment brought up
the hooks, they're like reverse Jafar.
You know what I can't help but see? If you look at the shape, it's kind of got this thing going on. It's like there's a batarang embedded in his chin, and just the edges of it are sticking out.
That's what I've always thought too.
Has anybody else seen the batarang facial hair?
Yeah. Yep, I have. Yeah. Oh my god. That's what because I've drawn him a couple times, and I think that when I'm drawing it is like this is just the edges of a batarang. Because it doesn't just like come out and curl down.
No,
it curls up and down.
Yeah,
it comes out straight and then goes both directions. It's like a little like I don't know, little sword coming out or something.
I already feel so seen, Jamie. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You should shave that into your face.
Well, for a long time, the very center of my like beard hair would not grow. You can find older pictures of me where I just have two little patches here, and I've thought about that every time. This is the Ra's al Ghul look I've got going, and nobody got what the hell I was talking about.
Could be like a decent like Halloween thing, maybe.
Yeah.
You get some
I have
makeup,
to grow out
do
the
some makeup
sides
and
of
stuff.
my hair.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta get the Ash Ketchum side spikes.
Yeah,
I'll figure it out. This was all one message. Don't worry about it, says Dylan.
Oh, cool.
Overall, the two-parter gets a solid 7 shirtless sword-fighting Batman out of 10. Well, it's not the best thing ever. It's not the worst. And I feel that the two-parter, graded as a two-parter as it should be, because you can't grade each episode individually when they're part of one story, it's pretty dang good. So, let's get to the question of the week.
James' favorite
part.
Yes, my favorite
What's your favorite place that you guys have traveled to, and why?
Oh, don't ask me that, Dylan.
Brian is a worldly man. I have been outside the United States one single time, and it was to the Caribbean on a cruise. So that's my answer because it's by default.
Does it have to be out of the? It has to be out of the country. It
I don't know.
Like
I guess it could be. Fort Benadryl Cabbage Patch. Yes. What state was that in?
Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Oh, the second one was in Pennsylvania. The first one was in Idaho.
This was on a drum corps tour, and Joe and I set up like a pillow fort where we were sleeping. Or it was like stacking. It was we were made to sleep in a classroom that smelled like cookies.
Yep.
Because there was like a cookie scented spray going on, and it was like a preschool classroom. And we walked in, and the desks and chairs were already like stacked and all this stuff. So we just like shoved them into like a fort formation and slept inside of it as Fort Benadryl Cabbage Patch. That's the story.
That was the first one. The second one was a very different setting.
Yeah, it was like a
woodshed.
Bunk bed inside of a woodshed.
Yeah.
it wasn't as cool. Yeah.
Sounds like Camp Mayweather.
Yeah, basically.
Old Camp Mayweather. Man, they've revamped.
Yeah. That's burned down or whatever.
To answer Dylan's question, like,
do
I have to choose just one?
Yes. I say yes.
Fuck.
Well, you can think about it while we play the final Dylan Pollock message submitted 23 hours ago based on prior judgments.
I got it.
James, Brian, I'm sending in a second audio message based on the precedent set in The People v. Keen, a.k.a. Yoppie Cord Episode 1, a.k.a. The Keen Precedent.
Mm-hmm.
So, I really just want to ask, how you guys doing? You know, life get busy sometimes. It's tough recording a podcast. How you been? Life been good to you? Hopefully you're doing well.
Yeah.
How's old age, Brian? How's the boy? Jamie, Jim, hi man.
Oh.
Just hope you guys are doing well. Yeah, that's it. So just kind of going along now, watching the timer on Anchor go up.
What is going
taking
on?
Advantage of that King precedent he fought hard for. God bless you, King Machine. Yeah, that's about it. All right, well, have a good rest of your podcast recording, and you guys have a yappy day.
Did you send your message through the Hardak database? What the fuck was that?
He's actually just a villain, and his signal was feathering out.
The microwave will simultaneously send all Dylan Pollock messages.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm doing good. What's your answer, Brian? You figured out the answer.
I figured it out, and there's so many caveats, right?
Okay.
But I have to say Norway. And just not even a single region, but just the whole country. And I think because I miss it, and it was home for a while.
You've mentioned it several times, endearingly.
No, it's just such a great place for so many reasons. It's not necessarily the greatest place to visit. And there's
well, I remember you saying when the 2016 election happened, you were like, well, time to move back to Norway.
Yeah. I was in conversation with a friend of mine about moving back.
I was gonna lose my Brian for virality purposes, and that couldn't happen.
So instead, you made me.
I forced him to live here longer so that he could endure. Yeah.
Oh, I could go on for many, many more times. And also, Dylan, I'm happy that you got some Zion visiting going on, because Zion National Park is a great place as well. But yeah, Norway, I would always suggest people go check out Norway. You'll have a blast probably.
I'd like to go there with you as a tour guide.
I would love to take you as a tour guide to Norway. Yeah. Oh my god,
let's go right now.
Okay,
see you later, everybody. All right, the comments on last episode, which was Jump on the Bat-Wagon episode 57, The Demon's Quest, or He Lost His Top in the Green Juice. This is from Tip Tapricot.
Yeah.
If you're already reading the comments, then oh shit, I forgot again. Hold on, I'm trying. Edit. Demon's Quest Part 2 was a lot of Batman's big boobs and Talia not picking up that he's not into you. Edit 2, except at the end, for some reason, I guess, they needed the nice couple shot. Yeah, I guess he just, well, this is maybe my last chance to kiss this baddie, so I better do it. Zane Beatty. In Batman Begins, the woman who introduced Bruce to the decoy Ra's, she says, am I pronouncing this right? Ra's al Ghul, with the hard A sound. Yes, I remember that. Maybe that was a reference to No You Are, or Yes You Are, I guess. I don't know. Scotty Cameron. In Batman Begins, someone pronounces Ra's al Ghul, and Batman corrects the attendee at his party on the pronunciation of Ra's al Ghul. The pronunciation is a conundrum that DC seems to keep contributing to. I have a friend who hated the Nolan films, and he refused to pronounce Ra's al Ghul the way it's pronounced in the Nolan films. He's come around to liking them in recent years. I don't know how strongly he feels about the pronunciation. Yeah, I don't care anymore. Dylan, I don't know. We've had this conversation now. I keep saying Raish when we're talking about the show, because in this show that's what his name is. But I think I'm in agreement that it probably should be Roz. I remember coming away from that conversation with Neil Adams at the Comic-Con, immediately putting out a video on Instagram going we just talked to Neil Adams. He says it's Roz. The answer is Roz. Everybody's been wrong for years or whatever. But then it turned, I didn't know at the time that the other guy said it was Ray. Also, Joe, I was thinking about your whole who actually created him argument. And I think I'm in agreement with that. Yeah, one of them technically would have come up with the character. I think legally both of them are tied to his creation, because one guy wrote the story, the other guy drew what he looks like.
Oh.
So he created the visual of the character. Drawing him is not his name. Yes. No, I agree with this. I agree that that whoever what I'm saying is that I think the distinction is that since he drew what he looks like, that's why he's credited as co-creator. Anyway, whatever. Dylan Pollock says, Lizzie McGuire wasn't my choice. They're not supposed to be obvious movies. And James, go watch Jaws, damn it. Yes, I should. We should just watch Jaws as an April Fool's or something.
Ooh, I like that.
So Batman was a shark in this episode. He also says, to be fair, Brian, I agree the Dahmer show is disgusting, whereas the Chernobyl series is more meant to be showing the truth of what happened and how a government system hurt the people to protect itself. Only 5 episodes. It's on HBO Max. Definitely recommend it.
Okay.
So I guess we're just letting anyone co-host this podcast now, huh? Except Dylan. Fully agree with Joe that waiters should write the order. The fucking waiter today did not write it down, but I don't think he messed anything up.
No.
I'll never send it back like a huge complaint, because I know it's not the waiter's fault, and they're still working hard either way. Tip no matter what, people. Always tipping 20%. And yeah, Brian told me how to do that. And I signed Batman today on the
Yay!
the
Yeah, I stared James down.
I also
hoping that you
stared
would do
Joe
it.
down and did it without looking, and it wasn't as good. If it's atrociously wrong, though, something should be said. My wife literally got the entire wrong order served to her once and just dealt with it. LOL. Yeah, no, I think that's the exception. Hey, this isn't what I wanted. Versus, I asked for ketchup on the side, you fuck. Kevin Renke mispronouncing Mr. Al Ghul's name isn't racist or racist. Or is it razist? Anywho, I love this two-parter and can't get enough of David Warner in this role. As for Joe, great guest host, but he needs to give Battlestar another shot. Yeah. Starting with episode 33, I too fell asleep multiple... I don't know why it doesn't continue, but yeah. That's where the comment ends. Yeah, 33 is the first actual episode. I think we did watch that. It's you don't remember.
I don't.
Tip Tappercut again. Whoops, just realized I forgot to leave something in time. I'm pretty sure I was too enthralled by Zeta. Yeah, good. That's a good excuse. Ashley Tutchin, cool, you've unlocked Dylan Pollock's Joe form. I hear that one's pretty rare. I love rah-rah, ooh-rah-rahs Al Ghul and the late, great David Warner, so I'm so excited to hear him make his big debut. The fact that this episode was adapted by the equally late, great Dennis O'Neil, not equally late, but equally great, means you know that it's good. Seriously, he and Neil Adams were responsible for, late, great Neil Adams, were responsible for revamping Batman in the 70s, shaking off his campy remnants of the Adam West era. I never actually realized how many comic writers contributed to TAS. Anyway, looking forward to part 2. Genuinely shocked to hear that both parts actually aired back to back. What a novel idea. Scar Louie 1, happy Zeta month. Happy Zeta month, everybody. Newman Studios. This is Jordan Blumen. Sorry for no voice message. Went to the ER for something. Jury's still out. Oh, I hope you're okay. What the hell? Didn't have time to watch this episode this week, but I'm going to take a wild guess and assume Jack Ryder is frustrated with Batman for not being around. Can't wait. I can't for the life of me remember how this episode goes. I just remember I didn't like it. Okay. Charles Motosierra, hot take. I think the DCAU has one of the least interesting interpretations of Raspberry Al Ghul. Oh, well, remains to be seen, I suppose. Jarlid 97. Ever since I started learning more about voice actors and recognizing their voices across stuff, you get a kick out of Jarlid 97 every time. Yeah. I've gotten really good at recognizing people's voices. Now it's just distracting. I think the epitome of that was this episode where I recognized Joe's voice from the "What Are Superman's Powers" video from like 2 years ago when he said all of maybe 6 words. Why am I like this? Do you remember that, Joe? You were in your paramedic outfit, and I asked you at the door, like, tell me what Superman's powers are, and you're like, he can see through your clothes and stuff, or whatever.
I very vaguely remember that.
And then someone commented on that video about there being a sexy mailman in the in the video. I guess if a guy in a white like shirt, like uniform shirt, comes to the door, I guess you would assume before paramedic that it's.
Thanks for noticing. It's polyester.
Yeah. You didn't recognize Joe's voice from when he says nothing in the 2 times he was Batman in my videos. Crazy duplicate. This episode and its sequel, frankly, feel more like a movie than anything else. Yeah, I guess so.
I could see that. Not a very exciting movie, but a movie.
I guess if it was combined as like an hour long or 45-minute long thing, then maybe it wouldn't feel like it dragged as much because it was just like establishing stuff. But the fact that was like a whole episode of establishing stuff.
It's very cutscene-y, and I feel like there's a lot of like other things that could be added in between to make those 2 episodes a movie.
Yeah. Much more interesting thing.
Like diving more into, I guess, character development and maybe more into Talia and what the hell is Robin doing? Like, just waiting in the plane in the desert.
They just were kind of there. Yeah. Nick Sorensen, another great 2-parter of TAS, and a great proper introduction to Ra's al Ghul, or Raz, however you pronounce it. My favorite thing in this part is definitely that running bit between Batman and Ubu. From the moment it starts, you're just the running bit. I see. The moment it starts, you're just anticipating when Ubu's going to finally reach strike 3 with the Dark Knight. This also seems to be the point where you really first start seeing the more refined-looking animation character designs that became more prevalent for the remainder of the series as they started renaming it The Adventures of Batman and Robin. Those episodes still being among the best that I think DCAU Batman has looked in animation, in my opinion. Also, as of this episode, there won't be any more instances of random unrelated episodes being aired in the middle of 2-parters for the rest of the DCAU, so that's another less thing to worry about for the podcast.
Hey.
I guess that might be true. I know there were some still produced around other episodes, but the air date might have been like, oh, we messed this up before. We should probably put the two-parters back to back so we don't have like the start of this podcast where it was, oh, Catwoman's being watched through binoculars by a bad guy 7 episodes later.
Yeah.
Oh, now we pick up from that again. Yeah. You're right, though. I think the character designs in this episode look really good, and I am glad that we are getting past the Studio Junio, the ACOM, the whatever, the animation companies that we're not going to have anymore.
Having nothing to base it off
pencil.
of, I did notice that Batman was in the episode. I could recognize Batman.
Yeah. Robin was sort of there. Emin drew one. So Joe had 0 nerd cred. Got it. I suppose everyone has a friend like that. That's not true.
It's just a different kind of nerd cred, I think.
Good episode, a little, okay, a lot. Heavy on the casual racism. It's based in 70s Batman stuff, so it's to be expected. But all in all, Joe is right. Bruce could have saved himself some trouble by just moving on to the next Robin. I mean, he's an adult in college. If he can't prevent his own kidnapping, he's basically failed his Bat finals. Yeah, that's true.
Although Batman does get kind of kidnapped sometimes. He gets caught and restrained and stiff.
He gets his shirt ripped off.
It happened in this episode, too.
He gets his belt taken. Yeah, I mean, Joe's Star Trek fan. Joe's band guy with me.
My knowledge in things like that is definitely not what yours is, but it's a little bit there. It's there in different areas.
Yes, it's not Batman, but Joe's on the Batman.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Jack of not Batman. Jack off, not Batman. Scrudge. So when Batman was sneaking into Raish's base, I'm just going to say it the same way every time. I guess he left that one goon unconscious in the middle of the desert with no clothes or supplies. I'm sure he's fine, though. He'll probably fall onto an awning or something. Also, in regards to Wayne Manor's address, the only other instance of it being given that I know of is Batman issue 648. It's listed as 1313 Mockingbird Lane, which is apparently just a reference to the Munsters TV show.
Oh.
Okay. Weird.
Huh.
What is this time code that Mark Aquino is referring to? Oh, yeah. The very ending of the episode, I had Brian's laugh transition into Rachel Ghoul's laugh from the end of the episode.
I didn't hear that. I haven't listened to it yet.
You haven't listened yet. But Mark says, my God, the answer was staring us in the face all this time. Brian is Ra's al Ghul. He was born at the dawn of time and was there at many a turning point in human history. He was there when Rome was sacked. He loaded plague rats onto ships, helped burn London to the ground. But when his physical state is at its weakest and most vulnerable, he must cast his own mortal body into the Lazarus pit of Big Bus, Oregon.
Yep.
But when he emerges, he leaps out from the Green Goblin juice with a great vigor back onto the ledge with his musical instruments and good boy dogs in tow and laughs hysterically. FYI, Jamie is Batman in this scene. Maddie is Robin with that awesome 90s hair. And Joe is Talia because someone has to be. Bat Jamie is shouting, "Put her down!" And Bri just continues to cackle maniacally as Pitt's after effects of insanity overtake his brick brain. And Dylan is Ubu, sit, good dog.
Wow, I love
Am
this.
I a pretty Talia?
Yeah. Oh, you're beautiful.
So when are you guys going to kiss?
We're doing it right now. You just can't see. I'm a ventriloquist while we kiss. Ventriloquist. James Royster. I've always thought it was pronounced Raz like Ra, but with a hard S sound, which I think is how it's said in Arabic. I don't know. I took German and Latin in school, a language no one around me speaks, and a language no one who isn't Catholic cares about. I'm not even Catholic.
Well, everyone knows that, combining Latin and German equals Arabic.
Yeah, exactly.
Normal thing.
Banana Man says okay.
Okay.
Channel 99 Productions, please more episodes with Joe. You got one just now.
You're welcome.
Carly Berendt. I think this is a new one.
Oh.
Or at least one I haven't read often. Hi, I started listening this week. Okay.
Oh, welcome.
And almost caught up. Don't ask.
What?
Just wanted to solve the mystery from...
What?
I will ask. You've listened to 55 episodes, whatever. Just wanted to solve a mystery from episode 1. Brian couldn't think of the word for how Catwoman was treating Batman. I believe he was trying to say she was objectifying him. Tell me if I'm wrong so I can die in peace.
I'm not going to tell you or not. Don't die.
Yeah.
That's all. But probably episode 1, I don't know. I can't remember episode
I do remember
last
this
episode.
happening, but I don't know if we already thought that. was
It was
thing.
probably
I don't know.
objectifying. That sounds sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, next week's episode, James and Brian should do with their shirts off. I'm not objectifying them. I swear it'll make sense. We have been. We've all been naked this whole time, actually. Brian, I'm not doing it. Brian's taking shit. Brian,
It's cold.
Annie up,
You have
boys.
to be in good shape to do this, and I am not.
Should I put my shirt back on?
Well, I don't know if you remember, I did play Batman in a couple of your videos.
Scar Lowy says there's no video, so they might record all episodes with their shirts off. And Scrudge said, yeah, the word was objectifying. I'm pretty sure they figured it out a few episodes later. I remember being anxious listening to that too, LOL. I hope we haven't had any other running problems that we haven't solved yet.
Write in,
Sorry
let us
about
know.
that. Yeah. What other things have we not figured out? How to do a podcast is one of them.
Definitely.
Lanola Cola, despite being phenomenal episodes, there's a few skipping the spoilers. Also, Joe's synopsis was too perfect. I can't stop laughing at the green juice. Congrats, Joe. Congrats.
Yay.
Slacks Pain.
What?
Remember there was Austin, or no, what was it? Austin Pan. Well, it was Austin Powers' head on like a pair of pants. What was it called? What was that account called? Do you remember this?
No, it's
Austin Trousers. Was that what it was?
maybe, yeah.
I think that's what it was. This is Slacks Pain, like Max Payne. I hope it's the same person. Crazy how many episodes were made before the show even aired. Like what if they worked on 50 plus episodes, finally started releasing them, and everyone just hated it or didn't watch? I'd feel so absolutely crushed by that. Glad it didn't happen. Guess that's why modern shows only make like 10 episodes a season. Also, Maddie had corrected me. I don't remember if it's on a comment in here. Yeah, only the final 20 episodes. I had mentioned before, they're like, 65 episodes, and then they just kept being like, give me a few more, that's enough, stop. But Maddie had corrected me that the remaining 20-ish episodes, or 20, I think exactly, were one more final season order, but then they just aired over the course of like 3 years sporadically instead of as a bunch like the first 65. I don't know why.
Wow.
Fox Home Improvement people can't keep it together. I don't know. Batgirl Fangirl, The Demon's Quest Part 2. If Raish Al Ghul or Ra's al Ghul was so concerned about the environment, why did he fly around the world in his gas goosling plane, helicopter, and jeep for what amounted to a wild goose chase for Batman? He could have done it all back in Gotham.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
The switch in the Lazarus Pit should have some sort of safety catch just in case a guard or Ubu lent on it or mistook it for a light switch. Speaking of the Lazarus Pit, Roz looked so shocked after he pressed that switch, like he didn't know what his own self-destruct button did. Yeah, he did look kind of shocked. Robin's thermal tights when he's wearing a short sleeve t-shirt. Yeah, I would have loved to have seen Batman and Robin show up at Wayne Enterprises Nepal's reception desk dressed in their costumes. Don't mind us. Bruce Wayne says it's okay for us to use his office, unless maybe the entire building is in on their secret identities.
There's the Frisky Dingo reference in there, roughly.
I hope so. I don't know. I'll never know. I liked how Robin had his Robin hair when they were in the office. Also, he didn't like slick it back when he's Dick Grayson like he usually does.
Oh,
He's
I didn't
just
notice.
Fuck it, I'm just gonna put a jacket on. It's fine. I loved Batman doing the old clobber the henchman and steal his clothes bit. Never fails, except here where it fails. My favorite part is the duel up the staircase at the end, probably inspired by the old Errol Flynn Robin Hood film. Oh yeah, I guess I didn't really catch that, but that makes sense. Roz really should have taken his own advice from Batman Begins after he tripped and fell into the Lazarus Pit at the end. And I quote, always mind your surroundings. Yeah. Why didn't he know Liam Neeson would teach him that? I really do love this episode. Just like part 1, the story, animation, voice acting, music, all top notch. Definitely in my top 10. Great messages, Scarloey, Keen, Jordan, Scotty, Dylan, Keen Podcast, Joe, Brian, and James. 5 stars and 5 plummeting Orpheus satellites. Old King Cole, Talia al Ghul, one of my animated crushes from when I was growing up. I can see it. They animated her butt. KM says, wait, what if Yop Tower Database mentioning Zeta Project wasn't just a coincidence? I said Brian is the mastermind behind Yop Tower Database. He knew there will be a Zeta Project videos before us. I find this theory more and more believable every week. Did this episode originate bat nipples? I can't remember anything before that where I saw Batman's nipples. I'm sure he had them. Also, I wish Batman wouldn't wear his mask in the final fight of this episode. Raish knows he's Bruce Wayne. Why would he fight half naked but with a mask?
Well, I guess maybe
just not to be.
He did say it was like respect or whatever.
Yeah. Well, and he put it back on in the Batcave. He can't ever take it off again. days and days later. Oh, he took it off to go to the Nepal office. I also think maybe it would help differentiate it from the samurai volcano fight where he was maskless but not shirtless.
Man, oh man, I'm just waiting for a sword fight where he's not wearing any pants.
Completely naked, yeah.
Batman the shirt talker.
Leave your socks on.
Yeah, leave the socks. Joel Schumacher definitely liked this idea, but he probably couldn't convince George Clooney to be half naked with a mask, so he added nipples to the suit. So how did Ra's die? How did Ra's didn't die at the end? Did he build an immunity for deadly effect of the pit in that 600 years he was used to it? Did he suffer from a heart attack while falling into the pit, thus restoring him once again? I guess that if he had a stroke on the way down, then he's not healthy and it was fine. Fun fact, director of this episode, Kevin Altieri, co-directed music video for Pearl Jam's song Do the Evolution with Todd McFarlane, creator of Spawn. If you haven't watched the video, I highly recommend it. I have seen that. Yeah, it is really cool. It looks very BTAS-y because it's that guy. It's the director. Yeah, it's a good one. Biking on, James, it's crazy how many stupid scene where a kid is in danger become the most emotional thing in the world once you're actually a parent. Watched the original Raimi Spider-Man a month ago, and him rescuing children was like the most emotional part of the movie. I haven't watched that since having kids, so maybe. Anyways, a great episode, and next week's episode has a really fun climax. That's where he falls in the Baja Blast. That's why he got resurrected. He was having a climax at the same time. Really epitomizes. Is not
that
healthy.
An unhealthy
it's
moment
not
in your
healthy.
life?
Yeah, it's a sin. Really epitomizes the writer's Bible rule of having a huge set piece for the third act. To be honest, I a lot more willing to entertain a Freakazoid interlude, like one shorter than all the brief segments that compose the podcast right now, after hearing it's only 25 episodes. It just feels like too much to have to wait 2 weeks for more DCAU episodes if there's going to be a Freakazoid episode in between. Yeah. I'm leaning definitely toward the include a Freakazoid segment instead of Freakazoid, did I say? Who knows? Old King Cole, yo, Joe, said like G.I. Joe from the hit 80s show, G.I. Joe.
What up?
Brian is an immortal being created as the first host for the all-powerful being known as Dylan Pollock during the beginning of the world. May the hive mind reign supreme and all hail Dylan. Greg Foster says, honestly, I don't really like this episode. The animation's okay. It's just kind of too dark. That's one thing that bothers me, is just kind of feels like it drags on. I guess dark visually, yeah, but it didn't seem too that way. I don't know. Maybe on like a 90s TV or like, what the hell am I looking at? I can't
I don't
see
know.
anything.
They didn't turn on the lights in Wayne Enterprises Nepal. So.
That's true, yeah. Got to keep it moody. Westy was not I'm having a stroke myself. Wency 209, an accidental surprise guest star. Joe, I'm happy to finally know who Joe is. Thanks, Yoppie Dudes. I think we had mentioned it a couple
we definitely
times
talked about Joe.
Yeah. I mean, it's all bad things.
Usually.
Joe, you're going to have to go through like 50 whatever episodes to find when we talk about you.
And last but not least, we have Mark Aquino. Damn it, there's no comedy to be mined whenever we get a good episode. Denny O'Neil adapted his own comic story and outdoes every script Len Wein wrote for BTAS. Go figure. Rip to them both. Still excited for more Zeta Month. If the coward who runs the Yopptower channel is reading this, and we know he is, just know that you, sir, are all bark and no bite, and the chickens are coming home to roost, monsieur. Unfortunately, I'm at work right now, so I can't do my trademark large comments and alliteration. Please forgive me, greatest podcast hosts in the multiverse, Jimothy and Beep the Meep. Praise to our Lord and Savior, Dylan Pollock. Love your podcast, dude. Great work. We got the deep cuts coming from Mark.
Beep the Meep?
Yeah, his disciples, Scarloey 1, Batgirl, Fangirl, Scotty Cameron, Once 209, to Tapricot, Key Machine, Banana Man, etc. And all the awesome sauce listeners of this Yoppie community of ours, you're all the best. Never forget that. I tried leaving a voicemail this week, but the file got all fuckity-doo-doo. So I'll try it again next week. Is that the stickity-doo-dah, fuckity-doo-doo? Until then, smoke bomb. All right. There's the comments. Thank you. That's a lot of comments.
Wonderful.
People had a lot to say about this episode.
Yeah.
Appreciate the shout outs to me and not just saying who the hell's that guy. Get him up. I mean, there's a little bit of that, but
I recognize Joe from when the sexy mailman talked about Superman's power. I think unless something else comes up that seems like Joe should be on this one, I think maybe having Joe back for all the Razagul episodes would be kind of fun. Joe gets a very like specific portion of the DCAU, just a slice of episodes.
Don't tell it to Dylan.
Yeah, sorry, Dylan. Well, we're never gonna have you back, but we'll have Joe's. We've already planned out Joe's racial ghoul trajectory here. Next week's episode, and Brian has a prediction. It is called "Read My Lips."
Yep.
Is it read or read?
Whoa, this was
Read My Lips.
That's actually like somewhat relevant because George Bush Sr. did the whole "Read My Lips, no new taxes" thing in like, what? Late 80s, early 90s, right?
You're timing with the episode. I thought you meant like just. I'm like, I don't think he did anything just now.
Read My Lips.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I'll say it is a new villain.
Oh, why?
Yeah, it's not someone we've had before. Because I was gonna say, you might go down the Poison Ivy route with the lips hint, but it's not a hint. It's not that.
Can I get another hint?
You ever heard of the man Lips Stevenson?
Edward Lipsma.
Edward Lipsy Hands.
The villain is not lips related. Well, kind of.
Do they have lips?
One half of the villain has lips, yes.
Ooh.
Well, you've already got Two-Face.
No.
One half of the villain has lips. What?
This is helpful.
Hey, wait, can I make guesses here?
Yeah, sure.
Does that mean he's a male?
Sure. What?
Does that mean
God damn it.
No.
Sexy male man is what you meant. One half of this villain is wooden.
I'm sorry, what?
You're just taking it back. I'm not helping you at all. I don't know what to say to make you guess this.
Woodman.
Just guess something.
Woodman, a dude is half tree and he comes out of the woods to fight Batman.
And he has lips on one half of himself.
Yes.
Half man, half tree.
the Treebeard crossover?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give you a little slight point for half man, half tree. That's sort of accurate.
And he comes out of the woods to fight Batman.
Oh, okay. Well, if you're tacking that on for more points, then I'll erase the points you already. So sorry.
Damn it!
Call.
I was so close.
If you want to reach out to us, like the fire hand at the end of the Cat in the Claw Part 2, email us at batwagonpod@gmail.com. I'm going to change that right now so I never read the old one on accident. You can also send us one single voice message by going to anchor.fm/Batwagon. And comment, Dylan, not 3. Comment on today's episode on the Podtower YouTube channel. Subscribe for DCAU podcasts every week. Even when we don't do one, there is one that's not us, so it counts. I'm saying is accurate. New episodes of this podcast are released mostly every Friday on the Podtower YouTube channel, as well as your favorite podcast feed and watchtowerdatabase.com. Our goal for the rest of the year is to finish the handful of episodes that happen before Mask of the Phantasm, and then watch Mask of the Phantasm on the week of Christmas or the week after Christmas, whatever the time's out to. I can't remember. But we'll be closing out the year with Mask of the Phantasm is the idea. Okay?
It's a good idea.
Because it aired on Christmas Day 1993, and we're going to watch it on Christmas Day 29 years later. So get ready, Brian. To lose your mind. You're going to die. This is your last year of living. I'm not going to say. Stop saying that, Brian.
Jamie, why would you say that?
Why would you say that? All right, we'll see you next week, I hope. Unless Brian,
fuck, dude, come on.
There's wood. I'm knocking on all the wood. You hear it? It hurts my knuckles a lot.
Sounds like
to
half
knock
a
this
man,
loud.
half a tree.
I'm knocking on the tree half of Woodman, or whatever you said. Batman has to grab an axe and chop down the tree half of the tree man.
Yeah.
Which pocket is that in?
It's in his shirt pocket, yeah. All right, goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
So it's finally over? we've seen the last of Ra's al Ghul?
Looks that way.